Imagine walking through a crowded street. Most people see faces, colors, potential connections, but for you it feels different. You don't see individuals, you see a swarm. You see noise, you see a threat. You catch snippets of conversation, superficial gossip, loud bragging, blatant lies, and a familiar feeling rises in your chest. It's not just annoyance, it is a deep, heavy exhaustion. A voice in your head whispers, I hate people. This is misanthropy, derived from the Greek miso, hate, and anthropos, human. But is it truly hatred, or is it something else entirely? Is it a sign of superior intelligence, a result of trauma, or is it the ultimate defense mechanism against a chaotic world? In this video, we aren't just looking at the grumpy old man stereotype. We are dissecting the mind of the misanthrope. We will explore why smart people often become misanthropes, the trap of failed idealism, and how to live in a world you can't stand without losing your mind. If you've ever felt alone in a room full of people, this analysis is for you. Let's dissect the misanthrope. It is rarely a monolith. Usually it starts with the disappointed idealist. You don't hate people because you are evil. You hate them because you had high expectations. You wanted humanity to be noble, and they turned out to be monkeys with smartphones. This creates a gap between expectation and reality. The misanthrope fills this gap with contempt to protect themselves from further heartbreak. Then there is the burnout misanthrope. This is common in service jobs, doctors, customer support, teachers. When you see people at their worst, demanding, rude, stupid for 8 hours a day, your brain generalizes. Everyone is like this. It's a survival pattern matching error. We must also address the superiority trap. Intelligence is a factor. Studies show that highly intelligent people often struggle to relate to the tribe. You see patterns, hypocrisy, and future consequences that others ignore. This doesn't make you better, but it makes you lonely. And loneliness often curdles into hatred. The texture of hatred. Is your misanthropy hot or cold? Hot misanthropy is rage, shouting at the TV. Cold misanthropy is dangerous. It is indifference. You stop seeing people as humans and start seeing them as meat and traffic. This is the path to sociopathy. Understanding which type you are is the first step. Are you hurt? Are you tired? Or are you arrogant? We begin with splitting, the psychological refusal to see gray areas, a necessary defense in a confusing childhood, but a prison in adulthood. This splitting prevents object constancy, the ability to hold a complex, loving view of someone even when they disappoint you. Dismissive, avoidant attachment is key. The emotional firewall built in childhood. Love equals risk, distance equals safety. The misanthrope often has a powerful, albeit subconscious, fear of being engulfed or having their independent self destroyed by the needs of others. Projection of the shadow. The traits we find most disgusting in others, greed, weakness, self-deception, are often the traits we vigorously deny in our own character. The inner critic's voice. The misanthrope's relentless criticism of others is often a redirection of a brutally harsh internal critic that was established early in life. The confirmation bias loop intensifies. The misanthrope actively hunts for the worst news, the most egregious example of human folly, to feed their narrative. They become experts in human failure, but blind to human resilience and random kindness. They are selectively informed. Moral perfectionism and the weight of knowledge. Seeing society's flaws is intellectually painful. The contempt is a release valve for this pain. This turns into intellectual isolation. If they cannot see this obvious truth, I cannot speak to them. The misanthrope lives on an island of their own superior logic. The paradox of the HSP, highly sensitive person. The sensory overload becomes a moral issue. The noise isn't just irritating, it's interpreted as a sign of human inferiority. The loss of trust in the future. Misanthropy makes future planning difficult. Why save the planet if people are not worth saving? Why build if people will only destroy? This internal logic is airtight, making it nearly impossible for external positive evidence to penetrate. It's a beautifully constructed, self-sealing worldview. The identity of misanthrope becomes a source of dark pride. It is a badge of honor that signals, I am smarter and I have suffered more. The price of this worldview is severe, starting with the physical cost of chronic distrust. Studies show that high cynicism leads to elevated cortisol, increased inflammation, and higher rates of heart disease. Your body is perpetually ready for a fight that never comes. Social atrophy progresses into a genuine disability. The muscle for vulnerability is the first to go, making any future genuine connection feel terrifying. This results in emotional isolation, which is far worse than solitude. Solitude is a choice. Isolation is the painful result of the cage snapping shut. The misanthrope sacrifices complexity for the comfort of simplicity. They reject the human paradox that we can be foolish and brilliant, selfish and sacrificial. The loss of personal growth. Criticism of others requires no self-reflection. The misanthrope's hatred acts as a perfect barrier against personal change. They become experts in human failure, but illiterate in human joy. They forget how to access simple, unburdened pleasure. The echo chamber trap is lethal. Online communities confirm the misanthrope's biases, making the outside world seem unreal and wrong. This creates a dependency on collective outrage for emotional validation, reinforcing the belief that only by being angry together can they feel safe. The intellectual stagnation deepens. The drive to learn comes from curiosity about the world. When the world is dismissed as unworthy, curiosity dies. The ultimate tragedy, the shield of hatred becomes so heavy and uncomfortable that the misanthrope's deepest desire, peace, becomes impossible. The goal remains internal peace. We start with cognitive reframing, changing the thoughts that sustain the hatred. 1. The flaw tolerance test. When you see a flaw, replace the word always with sometimes. People are sometimes selfish. This opens the door to possibility. 2. Master the skill of emotional labeling. When you feel contempt, ask, is this actually disappointment? Is this fear? Labeling the true feeling reduces the power of the hatred. 3. Graded social exposure, the tiny dose method. Start with a low-stakes task, e.g., leaving a positive online comment. Then move to face-to-face tasks that last less than 60 seconds. 4. Design your boundaries, the fence with a gate. Clearly define what you will tolerate. When a boundary is violated, it's not a reason to hate, it's a reason to enforce the rule. 5. The Sonder practice. When you feel contempt, seek out non-narrative media. Look at old photographs, listen to classical music. This reminds you of the universality of emotion. 6. Create an altruistic outlet. Use your sharp critical lens for constructive action. Volunteer for animal welfare, environmental causes, or tutoring. 7. Embrace selective vulnerability. Choose 1 or 2 people who have consistently proven reliability. Share a small, manageable vulnerability. Test the waters. 8. The misanthrope's mission statement. Your existence is to be a guardian of standards. You are the inconvenient truth. Accept this role without letting it consume your soul. Final thought. Misanthropy is a sophisticated defense. The process of healing is not about dismantling the defense entirely, but about making the cage big enough to live in peace. You can see the darkness in people and still choose to cultivate light within yourself. You owe the world nothing, but you owe yourself peace.